So ESPN done goofed. ESPN done goofed again. And what did they do this time? They quoted a fake record. And what do you mean? What do I mean by they quoted a fake record? Basically, what they did was they stated that JuJu Watkins broke a record that she has not broken. And that's the funny thing where it's like, it is literally, like, it's literally just the media trying to make a JuJu Caitlyn. That they actually thought that Caitlin Clark held this record. It's an Indiana Fever player that holds this record, but it ain't Caitlin Clark. It is Kelsey Mitchell. Like, Kelsey Mitchell holds the record. Like, you're looking on ESPN, and you're seeing graphics. Most points in first 2 seasons, Caitlin Clark versus JuJu Watkins. And again, look, JuJu Watkins said it in way more games than Caitlin Clark did. She's averaging less points per game through 2 seasons. And again, there's not going to be enough in the difference that JuJu Watkins, like, they're going to have to make all 3 championship games. She's going to have to average like 28 a game for the rest of her college career. She's not going to do. JuJu Watkins, like, when it's all said and done, if JuJu Watkins could be a better player than Caitlin Clark, there is a possibility, but like, at this stage, I don't think it's a formality. And second of all, like, let's take a listen to this.
Did y'all know JuJu Watkins has more points in the history of basketball through 2 seasons than anybody else?
Yeah, incredible.
Coming off of Caitlin Clark the last few years, that is huge. So if you think performance, did y'all know JuJu Watkins?
There is no way. They also said the difference is her efficiency. They're just making stuff up. Someone said, do you know who made the comment? I don't know if you realize what you're saying. Like, I mean this. I don't think they actually realize what they're saying. Like, they are comparing 2 players that could not be more polar opposites as players. Like, they are comparing... Like, JuJu Watkins is not that good of a scorer. Shock. Like, she scores loud buckets. JuJu Watkins is a free throw merchant at this point in her career. She is a decent mid-range pull-up. She's good at driving to the basket. And again, this all could be based on a hypothetical or a situation where her team just doesn't suit how she wants to play. Because I'm willing to say that is a good possibility, that the team does not suit how she wants to play because she's got 2 bigs inside, so she can't really take it to the basket. JuJu Watkins is a freight train on the fast break. Like, I mean that. JuJu Watkins is an absolute freight train on the fast break. And that is a fact. She's so good at that. She's absolutely incredible at that. But there is literally nothing else on the offensive end other than scoring maybe more visually appealing mid-range shots than Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark's better going to the basket than JuJu. JuJu has got a better in-between game, but the in-between game is one of the most irrelevant things in basketball. It's good. You would rather have it than not, but finishing at the basket and shooting threes is more important than that. She doesn't pass like Kate. She's not a good passer. Like, she's not like a horrifically awful facilitator, but she's not a good one. She's not a good one. And also, she does not know how to use her gravity to free up opponents. So JuJu is very much I think she is a ready-made player on the defensive end, but she's a prospect on the offensive end. And the worst part about this is they're quoting a record that she doesn't have. They're literally quoting a record that does not belong to her, and it's all just to make this. Will she break Caitlin's record? She's not gonna break the record. JuJu could, and again, JuJu could literally be better than Caitlin because JuJu is such a good defender. Like, there is a Grand Canyon-sized gap in the defense between Caitlin and JuJu. There is also a Grand Canyon-sized gap in the offense. And it's not even about putting points on the board. Yes, Caitlin Clark scores more points on less shots than JuJu Watkins. That is a fact. That is a complete fact. Caitlin Clark scores more points in less shots than JuJu Watkins. Caitlin Clark is a better passer. Caitlin Clark uses gravity more. Caitlin Clark frees up teammates better. Which that doesn't mean good passer. Like, for example, I'm just trying to think. Steph Curry is not a great passer. He's a decent passer. But Steph Curry can free up teammates. Chelsea Gray is a great passer. Chelsea Gray doesn't free up teammates. That's why Caitlin Clark is so crazy, is she can do both. That's the craziest thing, is she can do both. There are not many players, men or women, that can do both. that can be the gravity to draw an entire defense to focus on you, but then can also be one of the top passers in the game. Like, I don't think Caitlyn's the best passer in WNBA. I think Chelsea Gray's a better passer in there. But what Caitlin Clark does is she creates the space, whereas Chelsea Gray just makes the pass. Caitlin Clark can create the space and make the pass, which is crazy. JuJu Watkins, in fairness to her, she can create the space. JuJu Watkins has that ability to have the whole defense focusing in on her. But you see it, she forces through shots. She's like, she makes young mistakes. And she's going to grow out of those mistakes. Like, JuJu Watkins, don't get twisted, JuJu Watkins is like, I'm not going to say generational, but like, she is like Ryan Howard, but a little bit better. She's a little bit better version of Ryan Howard, which is unbelievable. Ryan Howard has literally been an all-star every healthy year she's been in the WNBA. And we've all seen Ryan Howard at her best. She looks like a top 10 player in the world. Like, she is a little bit like, she's not, it's not like something we haven't seen before. But also, we've now got ESPN trying to manufacture this just rivalry and all this stuff between two people that like each other, by the way. Two people that like each other and two people whose games have no resemblance to each other. And the fact is that through all of this, one of the things that's getting forgotten is Kelsey Mitchell literally holds a record. Like, there is no reason to be just ignoring the fact that the record is held by Kelsey Mitchell. The record's held by Kelsey, and she 100% should be, hyped up. Hyped up as, like, the player that holds the record. And by the way, if ESPN made this whole thing about her trying to, chasing records a thing, even if it's even if it's a weird record that nobody even knew was a real record, like we saw in the WNBA season, Caitlin Clark was breaking records that were she was breaking Thaddeus Young records. If you go on a Thaddeus Young record, there was like a graphic where it was like players to do X, Y, to do like 5 different things, and it was Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Jordan, LeBron, and Thaddeus Young. Caitlin broke some Thaddeus Young records, but it's like, if you want to talk about this record, at least get the player right. At least if it's the player right, it's in good faith. But it's not. A lot of these arguments are not in good faith. A lot of these are JuJu's better than Caitlin arguments. They're not, let's hype up JuJu, let's hype up the next people. Because if it was, the argument would be about how many points she has away from Kelsey Mitchell. There has been not one graphic how many points she is away from breaking the record. There has been not one graphic that I've seen that has Caitlin Clark, her in the middle, Kelsey Mitchell. She'd broken Caitlin Clark X amount of points to Kelsey Mitchell. Other than on the day she broke Caitlin Clark, they put it up on whatever game the game was. Since then, they've only talked about her breaking a record that isn't a record. I'm sorry, she's broke the record for the second highest scoring player after 2 years in college basketball. It's going to be great when she breaks Diasia Fair's record for the 5th highest scoring player in NCAA Division I history. Like, what record? Like, what are they going to do then? And it's annoying because JuJu's good. Like, I don't like JuJu's game, but it does, like, it's not that I don't like her game in a way that, like, it's bad. I don't like watching it. She is able to draw fouls. I don't like Harden. I used to love Dwayne Wade as a kid because, like, I never watched full games, and Dwayne Wade's highlights were electric. But I watched a few full games of what Dwayne Wade was doing back in his day. Like, even Luka Doncic. I always say this, is like, I loved Luka Doncic up to a point. But, like, when it became the foul baiting in the NBA, stuff that you can't really get away with in FIBA ball, like, I'm not a fan of it, but it is the best way. It's one of the most effective ways to play. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is exceptional when he does it. Harden was one of the greatest offense players of all time. And in fairness to JuJu Watkins, her and Michaela Blakes are the only 2 players in college basketball that really know how to fully draw fouls and are able to use that to their style. And that's one really good thing that JuJu Watkins can do. And, like, I could see USC, especially when they get those really good freshman classes over the next couple of years, I can see them competing. I can see them genuinely competing for a title. And it's going to be an interesting one anyway to see what happens. But it'll be an even more interesting one, you know, when she breaks Kelsey Mitchell's record. Because she didn't break any record yet, no matter what people are saying. Anyway, I'll see you guys.